Raw Extreme Manifesto, which the subtitle is Change Your Mind, Change Your Body, and Change the World by Spending Almost Nothing. So, my stove and my oven have been permanently turned off. You basically can get rid of most of your things in the kitchen. You do need some tools. I recommend a dehydrator, a blender, and a juicer. If you're a little bit lazy, a food processor. So everything you want to do with a food processor, you can do with knives. And of course, all your cookingware you don't need. So there are 26 recipes in that book that are easy to do and that will cost you almost nothing. And I tell you step by step how to do this. But more than that, I begin with changing your mind. Because we're all addicts to the food industrial complex. You know, especially in a place like New York. You go out in the street and you're just bombarded with all this beautiful looking, seductive food. You know, and how do you stop? You know, and I give you some of my things. For example, I developed a method in terms of in contextualizing myself anytime I felt temptation. I would say to myself, Fred, you're a motherfucking compromiser. And I hate that word compromise. Anybody who knows me, I've lived my whole life in extremes. I don't believe in compromise. So when I call myself a compromiser, that's a great insult. And then I would say to myself, why are you interested in that industrial food crap? And I would put the term industrial in front of it, and it would just make it more revolting for myself. You know, but most doctors and most people say it's hard to lose weight because we live in a consumer capitalist culture of obesity. And this is one of the great ironies why young people today in America, the number one disease they face is obesity. The number one. You know, it's a disease of affluence, not a disease of poverty like malaria, you know, or starvation or malnutrition. That's a different kind of malnutrition. It's too much of the wrong stuff, not too little of the good stuff. So that's what the Raw Extreme Manifesto is about, and that's what the Diary of a Radical Cancer Warrior is about. But let me, before I finish, give you one thesis that is so controversial, and I speak before doctors and I speak before alternative people, and usually half the room boos me and walks out, and I'm fine with that. I've eliminated ego so I don't take things personally. And that is my contention, that capitalism and cancer are the same inextricable malignant processes. It is wrong to think of cancer as a disease. A disease is something that's curable. Cancer is incurable. In fact, all doctors will tell you that it's incurable. There is no cure for cancer, with the exception of cervical cancer in terms of a vaccine, because that's a viral transmitted cancer. But there is no cure because there is no cause for it. But I know the cause, and this is what they don't want to hear. The cause is the industrial, modern, capitalist matrix with its plethora of social and environmental toxicity. There is no one singular cause, it's everything. What are the two main carcinogens? Radiation, particularly electromagnetic radiation. I argue, and I give evidence in my book, that cell phones will not only have already produced a huge spike in brain cancers, and carbon, fire, burnt food, barbecue food, grilled food, the inhalation of smoke. Those are the two main principal carcinogens. And they're tied into the very matrix of industrial life. Other carcinogens, dioxin, which is what all plastic becomes when you throw it away and degrades. All plastic becomes dioxin, one of the most lethal carcinogens. Plastic has only been around 60, 70 years. It's a product of modern industrial existence. So the cure for cancer is the elimination of industrial society and capitalism. Why are they the same accelerative malignant processes? Because capitalism is the cancer from Mother Earth. It is teratogenic, meaning planet killing. Cancer is the manifestation of social and environmental accumulated toxicity for the individual person. That is the hardest thing that the establishment can deal with. Because the profound irony is this: cancer types and cancer rates are the greatest in the most affluent societies on this planet, with the allegedly most advanced medical technologies, and minimal in the so-called most primitive peoples. And that is why you have to have an anti-industrial, pro-revolutionary Luddite, eco-centric or eco-socialist, mattress-centric, indigenous-centric view of social change.
Yeah.
Anything that takes a priori the inevitability of industrialism and electromagnetic radiation technology is simply, no matter how you want to frame it, perpetuating the carcinogenic matrix. That's why there never will be a cure for cancer as long as capitalism exists. No amount of technology will beat that. Now, I'm proof of that. I've fought now for almost 6 years, and my condition now is officially metastatic. Because it was once local. I had 4 tumors that were colon and rectum based. Now I have a tumor in my right lung and one in my left groin. And there are probably 3 or 4 more tumors that will come up in the next 3 or 4 months. So my condition is metastatic. But everybody says, Fred, you present so well. You play that horn. You know, you snorkeled with 6 turtles and 60 dolphins yesterday in Maka'a. You know, you look great. You know, and I would say that whatever it's taken for me to still stay here with you, shared with you these 2 books, but particularly in the Raw Extreme Manifesto. My diet right now is 50% raw and 50% cooked. That's because if I continued on the raw, I would be losing too much weight. And I had to change all my clothes twice. All my clothes were altered twice, so I'm kind of done with that. And I kind of like this weight that I'm at right now, so I'm about 50-50. So if you ever come visit me in New York, in my apartment in New York, I can't cook you a meal. You know, if you want to eat cooked food, we'd have to go out. And I'm very picky about where I go, because the food has to be quote-unquote organic. I hate that term because it's so flipped now, because we talk about regular food and it's not organic, and we talk about organic food as being a specialty item, and it basically has to be local produced. You know, it has to respect the way in which the food was made. So ask yourself this question: do you know who made your food? Do you know who made your clothes? Do you know who made everything? You know, and the future is going to be an economy that is not industrial, but subsistence. Subsistence based in which we deal with our needs and not with the want for accumulation. And that's a major fundamental change in our, what the Marxists would term our mode of production, but what it really is about the mode of existence, how we live, reproduce ourselves, and how we continue on as a species. So that's my thesis, very controversial thesis. Can it be proven? It can't be proven in a medical, Western, rational, scientific sense, except for the fact that cancer rates are growing, the types of cancers are growing in the countries in which wealth, advanced technologies are in abundance. So that's my point of view, and we're going to continue with the program, and I'll perform a piece at the end, a final piece, and then we'll open up for discussion, questions, and so forth. Thank you very much.
We are honored to share the stage today with Lori, The Tangents, and Fred Ho. We want to recommend Fred Ho's very insightful and inspirational book on sale today. And like his music, I think his writing will move you as well. We want to thank all of you for sharing your evening with us tonight. I know many of you are in the midst of studying for your midterms, and some of you should be grading those midterms here. We want to thank Paul Lyons and Cindy Franklin for organizing, as well as a special thanks to Richard and Doug for inviting us to perform today, and also for recording our first poetry album, Undercurrent, which you can download at this moment from iTunes. I believe you get a discount if you do that. We had a great time and such a learning experience being in the studio with them and recording and drinking and hanging out. We also want to thank 39 Hotel for your wonderful mojitos. I had 3 and I probably have green stuff in my teeth, so I apologize for that.
It's a part of the performance.
So we're going to perform 3 poems, all from our album. We hope you enjoy.
Okay, this first one's called On Cooking Captain Cook.
A Valentine's Day poem.
If you ask the blonde-haired concierge at the Grand Kihei, he will tell you that we ate him whole, strung his white meat on a stick,
The other white meat.
filled his mouth with apples, and slow roasted him over fire. The sunburn vendor selling t-shirts in Lahaina will say we ate him too, but only certain parts. The head, heart, hands, wrapped in a kind of spinach and held over hot lava.
Captain Pork Lao Lao played lunch special.
The owner of the Hula Hula Bar and Grill will say we only ate him for lack of fine cuisine, rubs his skin with sea salt, then boils him in coconut milk and serves him on a bed of yams.
A coconut a day will kill you.
A coconut a day will kill you. My anthropology professor,
Will he ever fucking retire?
long researching ancient cultures, will offer explanations from his latest book.
Titled The Colonial Taste of Savages.
The white-skinned men seemed gods to those without metal or written words. By eating him, they meant to become him. But if you ask my tutu, while she waters her orchids and protera, she will invite you in to eat.
To eat. P.S. Fuck Captain Cook.
No, don't do that. He has syphilis.
P.P.S. Fuck my gentleman then.
No, don't do that either. Just buy our album.
Thank you. As you can tell, we write a lot about food, as do many indigenous writers. And so this next poem is a poem I wrote, which will appear in my upcoming book. And it's about, I'm originally from the island of Guam, and this next poem is kind of about Guam's indigenous food practices. The title is called Spam's Carbon Footprint.
Ooh, baby, here I am. Come rub upon my belly like Spam jelly. Ooh, baby, here I am. Come rub upon my belly like Spam jelly. Spam jelly. Spam jelly. Spam jelly.
Hot and spicy remix! Drop a beat! I eat, therefore I spam. Guam is considered the spam capital of the world. On average, each Chamorro consumes 16 tins of spam each year, which is more per capita than any other country. The Spaniards may have brought pigs to Guam, but the Americans brought us spam, invented on July 5, 1937. Guam, Hawaii, and Saipan has the only McDonald's restaurant that features spam on the menu. Here, spam is considered a gourmet luxury, and is often presented as a gift at birthdays, weddings, and funerals. But then the internet happened, and spam began clogging our online arteries and lost the luster of its sing-song repetitions. Not coincidentally, Spam is also popular in Hawaii, the Philippines, Okinawa, South Korea, and Saipan, all places with a history of U.S. military presence.
America, America, God shed your Spam on me.
In fact, Spam may have been responsible for Hitler's defeat. The Allies would not have won World War II without Spam. Plus, it's processed, so I guess we can keep it forever, right? Wow, I haven't seen this much Spam since I lived in Guam, and the car dealership there started offering 50-pound bags of rice and cases of Spam with every car purchase. The end result can be found in the newspaper's obituary pages. Among Chamorros, a staggering 60% are either diabetic or pre-diabetic. You can rub the entire block of Spam, along with the accompanying delicious gelatinous goo, onto wood furniture. The oils from the Spam moisturize the wood and give the furniture a nice luster. Plus, you'll have enough goo left over to use as suntan oil. How can I prove that I'm an indigenous person and not a Spam script? As I got older and tried to be healthier, whatever that means, Spam faded from my consciousness. Then I met my future wife, who is Hawaiian, and Spam became part of my life again. Maybe the economic downturn will help people truly appreciate Spam instead of loathing it. Spam doesn't have to be unhealthy. I eat Spam every day, and I'm not dead yet. Just switch to Spam Light. Despite rumors, Spam is not made of such odds and ends as hooves, ears, brains, Pacific Islanders, and whole baby kids. Spam is for real. It's made of pork shoulder, hand, salt, water, sugar, and sodium nitrate, if you can believe it. The name itself stands for Specially Processed Army Meat, Salted Pork, and more. Super pink artificial meat. Snakes, possum, and mongoose. That's a local kind. Or some Polynesians are missing where they go, I don't know. My uncle is the reigning Guam Spam king. I will never forget the 2-pound Spam bust of George Washington he made for Liberation Day. Toasted crispy on the outside with raw egg yolk in the hollow center. The kids loved it. I wonder if children in Guam remember that scene from Steinbeck's Grapes of Wrath in 1939, when the tractor driver stops near a tenant house and eats his sandwich with white bread, pickle, cheese, and Spam. The curious, starving children surround him. They don't speak to the driver. However, they watch his hand carry food to his mouth. Only a fool would start a company in Guam that provides Spam protection. We don't want to be protected from Spam bots. For Christmas, I bought a Spam snow globe featuring a can of Spam sitting on an island. Turn it over and a typhoon swirls madly, unable to unseat Spam from its place of honor. I have a souvenir can I bought after seeing Monty Python's Spam-A-Lot on Broadway in New York City. It cost me $10. It is the most expensive Spam I ever bought. I will never eat it.
So we're going to switch it up a little bit with something a little more meditative. This next piece is called Ho'ailona.
And it's from Randy's first book.
There are secrets the rain should not speak of. There are whispers in each drop of water, born from smaller drops, spun finally into clouds older than In that dream, there was a window. It stays shut so the water can tap against the glass and tell me a story.
Tell me your story.
It needs to tell someone. It tells me. Even something as old and strong cannot hold all the words. They need to get out. Out past the dams, over bridges and umbrellas, beyond the molecular bonds of hydrogen and oxygen. I can listen for now, I tell it. Tell me.
Tell me.
And so it begins. Tapping. How there once was an eel, or a word that came out of the ocean, out of a mouth. The mouth was wide open. It yawned for 10 billion years, as the night yawns, as a leaf yawns, unfurling. It could not speak its name, but it knew. It knew. Its name was a word like an eel, a slippery eel, like a word, from a mouth like the sea, like a yawn, dark blue, eyes blinking with the waves. It waited. Waves through water, across water, called from water to water. The rise and fall of dark blue waves, blinking and quiet, calm to nothing, alone. Like that, the rain returns to itself in its story. Words fall in circles, repeat, then turn. Rain taps the names of each secret, whipping its tongue like a slippery eel against my dream's window. I hope it never suspects I don't understand. I need to hear how it ends. Wait. There it is again. Listen. It's a tremendous honor to be able to perform with the great Fred Ho. Mahalo nui, Fred Ho, for coming all this way to join us. This poem is called Halo Naka, and it's for our older brother who continues to feed and nourish us.
This poem is called Pre-Tyrannic. Dividing the land covers my eyes and ears at night. and reveal ways. In the final years of captivity, we carried everything to the place where all options are visible. I can't say voice doesn't measure what we've lost, but the space that occupies us, our skin, points to another myth, another terrain here with a visible brand.
My final piece before we have a discussion is based on a traditional Chinese song called Sun Lan, which is historically, traditionally used as a farewell song. So I use this song to say farewell to cancer, farewell to capitalism, farewell to industrial massified societies. There are 4 epigrams to this piece. First, I was schooled on records and radio. My teachers were common sense and imagination. Jimi Hendrix. Second, when the prison doors open, the real dragons will fly. Ho Chi Minh. Third, everything possible has been tried and nothing has changed. What we need is the impossible. Sun Ra. Using the rat race as a justification is no justification. Fred Ho. can take any questions, challenges, criticisms. Yes, sir.
I just think very cool if your hairstyle has any symbolic meaning.
Yes, it does. It's a vulva vector. It's a pussy on my head. It's a symbolism of my initiation into the matriarchy. So I have a penis that after so many surgeries and the destruction of my nerves in that region doesn't work, but I still have a vagina. Any other questions, comments?
Was it difficult to transition to the raw food diet when you first got started?
No.
No.
I had to just, I was first skeptical of a lot of alternative things as I talk about in my diary. You know, it's in real time, so it traces my development of consciousness. And then I finally talked with someone who was stage 4 colorectal cancer that had gone to this place, the Hippocrates Institute in Florida, paid something like $11,000 a week to learn the contents of a 200-page manual for which we stole and Xeroxed. We found 20 pages to be the most useful, and that was a raw, extreme diet. Though no one can use the word cure, even the mainstream medical establishment says increases risk for. So when they say if you eat animals products, it increases the risk for these problems. So when I rejected Memorial Sloan Kettering's treatment, which was, again, another surgery, when they had done the surgery before on a T1 tumor that now came back as a T3 tumor, and when the celebrated physician said to me, when my sister, who's a doctor, asked him directly, "What do you think are Fred's curative chances?" He said, "I don't know." And so I lost all confidence in Memorial Sloan Kettering, the most arrogant cancer anywhere. Their slogan is the best cancer anywhere, so I call it the most arrogant cancer. And I decided I would now have to take charge. Before I was the perfect cancer patient. I followed all the orders. I did everything that I was supposed to do. And it was not enough. So let me throw away your paradigm and let me look at another paradigm that I had kind of resisted looking at and look at it much more seriously. And I'd like to say very directly and explicitly, I don't think that's a cure either. But I think that the benefits from it are tremendous. And it's suppressed because you can actually treat yourself and spend almost nothing. You can cure diabetes, you can cure hypertension, you can cure obesity in a very small amount of time, but it requires that kind of commitment. It requires extricating yourself from the matrix and making a commitment. And I knew that this may have been my last shot. This was tumor number 4.